Hey guys, my name is Ryan Mahe, and today I'm talking about this new movie called Black Bag. It's a spy thriller, but with a serious emotional punch. It follows George Woodhouse. He's a veteran MI6 agent, and his wife, Catherine St. John, who also works in intelligence. There are a few other key characters too. Uh, Colonel James Stokes, who's his boss, Clarissa, a coworker, Freddie Smalls, kind of an old friend, Dr. Zoe Vaughn, a psychologist, and Arthur, a top level intelligence official. The whole thing is set in modern day London. Hella secret government offices, safe houses, and honestly, the most intense dinner party I've ever seen or watched on screen. It also unfolds over a few weeks during a national security crisis. So, yeah, it was kind of suspenseful, kind of smart, and pretty emotionally heavy. You'll definitely feel the tension, betrayal, love, and a whole lot of paranoia. At its core, though, Black Bag is really about trust, or honestly, the lack of trust. George is investigating a possible traitor inside MI6, but here's the twist. The main suspect is his own wife, Catherine. And as he digs deeper, things start to kind of get personal. It's not just about stopping a threat, it's about figuring out who can he really trust. Tensions start rising inside the agency, and people who were once close to him now are his suspects. George and Catherine get pulled into a messy web of secret lies and half truths, and it all leads to this wild, dramatic dinner that I was talking to you about at first. Something that I probably would try to avoid. By the end, you kind of realize that the real danger wasn't just from people outside, it came from inside. People that they were close to and they had relationships with. All right, let's start talking about George for a second, though. He's loyal, super smart, all business, but emotionally, he's kind of shut down. It's probably like the only thing that he lacks in, and he lacks a lot of it. He constantly torn between his doing his job and protecting the person he loves, which is his wife. And honestly, that pressure starts to break him down. He starts to stop trusting people, even himself, which is crazy. He gets caught up in a spiral where emotions, the logic start blurring, and he makes some bad calls, which causes people to be pushed away. By the end, he does uncover something even darker, a major conspiracy at the top of MI6. Now let's talk about Catherine. She's a mystery. She's calm, composed, and honestly hard to read. And throughout the whole movie, I was trying to figure out if I liked her, if I trust her, if she was the person who really did betray the agency. So it was kind of hard. You never really are sure where she stands. She keeps everything close to the chest. Maybe because she's trying to protect George, or maybe she's hiding something. And that's the question that you kind of constantly ask yourself during the movie. And that ambiguity, sorry, it's just a little new word that I learned and I tried it out. It drives George crazy, makes him doubt her even more. But honestly, it's possible she's just another casualty of a system that thrives on secrecy. Then there's Dr. Zoe Vaughn. She's kind of a emotional center of the whole thing. She tries to help George understand that maybe, just maybe, his mind playing tricks on him. She even asks the hard question, forces him to confront stuff he'd rather avoid. And that's where the big themes of this movie really comes in. The emotional toll of the high pressure jobs, what secrets do to love and trust, and how power can really distort relationships, both at work and at home. Now looking now looking at this from a psychologist angle, especially with emotional intelligence in mind, George definitely messes up a few things. First, he bottles up everything. Instead of talking about what he's feeling, he just keeps it all inside, which of course makes everything even worse. What could have helped? Stuff like journaling. Maybe writing things down that he can't speak to other people, but he can write it to himself. Maybe opening up to someone, even just talking to Dr. Vaughn a bit more honestly could have helped. Second, he jumps to conclusions too fast. He goes from, maybe my wife is being weird too. She's a traitor. 0 to 100 for sure. A better move, stay curious, ask questions, actually listen. That could have opened the door to real connections instead of all out suspicion. Third, he sees the world in black and white. To him, if you're not being totally honest, then you must be guilty. Which, as a human, we know that can't, life is not black and white. There will be blurs of gray in it. But in real life, it's rarely that simple, like I just said. He could have used tools like CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, to reframe his thinking, slow down, and see things with a bit more nuance. And finally, the biggest thing, he avoids vulnerability. He lets fear take the wheel instead of leading into empathy and honest connections. If he'd been more emotionally open, he might have saved just a relationship, but also his own peace of mind. So yeah, emotional intelligence, total game changer here. At the end of the day, Black Bag isn't just another spy movie. It's this deep dive into what happens when secret love and duty collide. It doesn't always end cleanly. Thank you for watching. Hope you check it out. It's a wild ride. Just wanted to express how much this movie just turned my perspective upside down. I put myself in George's shoes and just kind of realized that things are not really black and white. And I have that type of thinking where if you're not one thing, you're another thing. And really analyzing this and putting the things that we learned through class into perspective really helped me grow my mind and just my mindset of how I as a person grow. So thank you. Thank you for a wonderful class. I hope you guys enjoyed.